Hello to everybody and welcome to our webinar today. The webinar is called Tree Explorers, and the aim of the webinar today is not to talk really about the methodology of green up observations or about the GLOBE protocols, because we know that you already know it and there's a lot of resources on the campaign website. Also, we are getting many messages from you all on the discussion forum and through email about your observations, about how fast your trees are greening up this spring. So it's wonderful. Thank you for that. And today we want to give you some extra ideas, some more tips on how to use inquiry-based learning and outdoor education activities or ideas to increase motivation of your students, to give them some additional ideas, additional moments for them to basically fall in love with their trees, to get interested in nature, in trees, and be more motivated in doing research about the trees, about nature, and just so that they want to know more about it. So that's the aim of the webinar. I didn't introduce myself because I think you mostly know me from the previous webinars and from all the campaign communication, but my name is Lenka Kleger and I'm greeting you from Prague, Czech Republic, from the Regional Coordination Office of GLOBE for Europe and Eurasia. And today I would like to welcome our two speakers, Vendula Jancová from GLOBE Czech Republic, who will be talking about inquiry-based learning, and Anna Fischerová from Lessons in Grass project, who will be talking about outdoor education in the Lessons in Grass project and about raising sensitivity towards trees and towards nature. We will spend together about 1 hour, and there will be the two presentations. There will be time for your questions after each presentation. And of course, please feel free to send us your questions to the chat during the presentation. We can get back to them. So I think that's all from me for to start the webinar. If there are any questions, please let us know now before we start. Well, I don't see any, so I think we can start. And so I would like to welcome Vendula Jancová and to invite her to talk about inquiry-based learning.
Thank you, Lenka. I will try to share the presentation with you. Hope it will work. If you can tell me, do you see my presentation?
It's okay. It's perfect.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Vendula Jancová, and I am a colleague of Lenka. I work in Tereza Educational Center in Czech Republic, and today I am pleased to introduce you the methodology of inquiry-based learning, or maybe you can know it as inquiry-based science education. This is my topic for today, and I'm pleased to introduce you this method because I think it's useful for you because you have a great opportunity to use it with your students because you explore your, go outdoors, you measure and observe the trees in the GLOBE program and in a tree campaign. So you can do it using the inquiry. And I'm not sure if I can do something with my presentation.
We can see
Yes.
now.
Can you see it moving? Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, we have been developing this method in Czech Republic since 2012, when we started working with the team of active teachers in the project called Badatele, that could be translated as researchers. And it's now the name of our team because it's our main topic. And we try to transfer this method from abroad for our Czech teachers. And we now organize seminars and webinars for primary and secondary schools, school teachers, and we create methodologies and publish them. And we publish research lessons, and we do it not just for teachers, but also with teachers in cooperation. So not just from our office, but it's tested practically. And GLOBE researchers investigate nature and the environment around the school, and they report the results of their research to the public at the student conferences at home and sometimes abroad. And we try to independence, and we give them responsibility for their learning. And why do it? Why we do inquiry? Because it gives the students the experience of scientific work, and it can stimulate their interest in science and in nature. And these are the abilities that are needed in Czech Republic. It increases student participation and independence, and also supports cooperation between students, because it's usually necessary to work in groups. So it's mostly about some kind of cooperation. And inquiry-based learning also increases teachers' motivation and satisfaction with their teaching. And we created, or we divided the process into steps. And you can, I'm sorry, you can see it here at the picture. It's the main four steps, and a fifth is the action step. It doesn't always make sense to include it, but if it is possible, we highly recommend it to do it. And I will talk about these steps now more. And what is the beginning is the motivation, and it's important to engage students, because we need to motivate them to some topic, and we need to run the thoughts in their heads, something like you can see here in the presentation, to think them about that something is strange, to ask how is something possible, how it is, and the topic should motivate students intrinsically, because it increases their interest in learning, and they want to learn something new. And now you can try it. You can look at the picture. And please write down into the chat, but not what do you think you can see. I don't want your answers, but I would like you to write questions that comes into your mind when you see a picture like this. So please, if you can write some question into chat. I'm not sure if I will see it because I don't see chat now with the presentation. Maybe Lenka, you can tell me after if you see some questions.
I will.
And it sometimes can be complicated even for students, for children, to ask questions, because at school we usually want answers from them. Yeah, we pose questions, and the task for children is to answer, and they can sometimes have a problem with it. So we have to motivate them somehow to ask. It's usually not so big problem with the younger children, but with older students it can be tricky. So Lenka, can you see some questions?
Yes. We have first questions, and they are quite similar. Why are there fruits and flowers in the same time on different branches? Or why are they there at the same time, basically?
Yes, thank you. I estimated questions like this, and I will not give you answers. It will be the task for you if you are interested. How is this possible? Maybe you know something like this from your local nature. You can go and you can search for your answers to this topic. We saw photo picture. It's one way of motivation. What else we can use to motivate students to explore? It can be some nature part you found somewhere when you go outdoors. It can be some strange photo notes with a problematic situation as before, but here you can see some thermal photo of leaves. You can see, you can find also some video for your topic, for example, time-lapse bud burst. If you browse YouTube and other sources, you will definitely find something interesting. And what is the most important in the first step is that we want children to ask question themselves, because it motivates them to start their thinking. And the next part of the first step is to choose one question that will be our research question. And because of this, it is important to choose the motivation properly, because if you look at these two pictures, they are both about the autumn forest, autumn leaves. But imagine that you want to talk about the topic of colors in the autumn leaves, and when you choose the right picture photo, maybe the questions will come to the sun you can see on the picture. Children can ask some question about the past during the forest, can ask how old are the trees in the forest, and then after this, to choose the research question will be more difficult for you. So maybe sometimes it's better to choose not so beautiful picture, but to be more closely focused on your topic. And when we have our research question, we go to the second step, and it is about hypothesis. Sometimes it's also difficult, a little bit for students when they start with inquiry. But it's important because students try the real work of experts, and they work like scientists. And scientists also don't answer questions directly, but with their experiments, they test their assumptions, their hypotheses. And they are looking for some evidences and try to confirm or reject their hypothesis. And to do this, they first need to formulate this hypothesis clearly. And you don't have to do it in any complicated way. Hypothesis is simply it's an answer to your research question. When you start, I think that it is like this. It can be your tip. It can be your assumption. So you have your hypothesis, and you can go to the next step. And this step is the verification, experimental verification usually. And you have to also plan how to verify your hypothesis. You can do it by studying information on the topic. You can consult with experts, or you can conduct your own observations or experiments. And we see the experiment as the best way, because you can clearly say what influenced your results. And we again we think that it's the best way is to let children to plan their experiments for them on their own, if it is possible. Let them do it. You can also give them the plan, but if they are able to prepare it on their own, it's better. It's again the way how to learn. And in the fourth step, we have to decide if we confirm or reject our hypothesis. We have the data, we measured something, we observed for example, our tree, and we should be able to say if we confirm or reject. And the fourth step is the end of the research journey, but it can also be the beginning of the further research, because children usually have more questions or find new questions in this moment. So they find some answers, but also new questions. And also essential part of this step is how to tell the others about what we found out, what we have discovered, and children, students learn how to communicate their results in interesting way. And after presenting, we have the fifth action step here. And if it is possible, lead children to make some change, to solve some problem, to actively try to improve something, because we recommend to motivate students to use the results of their research practically, and to take active action. You can't do it in all the ways of your research, but when you are exploring surroundings of your school, you can find some problem, and if it is possible to help to solve it, it's also very, very motivating for children. Here you can see the project of one Czech school. They measured temperatures in spring, and they estimated when the frogs will start their migration, and they are crossing the roads here, usually some local road. And the team was able to talk to the municipality and to place some signs here for drivers to be careful. And they also managed to close this local road for some short period of the time, because it was a local road. It was possible, and it was the benefit for frogs, and it was also a big benefit for the team, because they had really great feeling that they managed to do something useful. And with the topic of the trees that you are exploring, you can also measure temperatures. You usually see in the autumn the falling of leaves. And we have also one example of school team that talked to their officers, to their municipality, and they helped to estimate when the leaves will fall from their trees around the or in the park, and it could help with the cleaning of the pavement, and it was something useful for the community and also for the trees, because when people don't see that trees are making mess, they like the trees more. It's my my experience. So it's the way how also the phenology projects can help. We have our materials about inquiry mostly in Czech language, but we took part in some international project. So you can see, you will have this presentation with links, and you can see and explore the materials of Pulchra project that was focused on the cooperation of school with the local communities, and also the MAS project. Here it's the older project, but I think that's still useful, and you can also find their materials not only in English but in eight more languages, so we can explore it. And maybe you will find something about inquire in your national language. And I think it should be the end of my presentation. I wish you and your students to enjoy your research, and I hope it will be useful for you to try inquiry-based learning and to try this kind of exploration. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Vendela. Thank you for your presentation and for sharing this experience with inquiry-based learning and the way how it is used in schools. And I know that there are many teachers and students in the Czech Republic who are participating in GLOBE and in this researchers project. So just to add to what Vendela said is that all this information have been really tested for a long time by many school teams, and lots of feedback was received that this is really helping to increase the motivation of kids. And yeah, there's now the time for your questions. So any questions you might have, any comments, please write them to the chat if you want, or you can just unmute and talk to us. Perhaps when we could put down the presentation.
Okay, I will stop it.
Yeah, so please feel free to ask. Vendula will have to leave us shortly from the webinar, so we will have some question and answer part at the end of the webinar, but Vendula will not be with us anymore, so the time to ask is now if you want to know something more. And I see some nice comments in the chat. And I can see that there was also one more question to the picture. When you were asking about the question, there was also a question about why the leaves have different colors. So it can actually bring different questions.
And I really think you will find the answer, because it's a phenology. It's a phenology situation that can happen when there are changing temperatures in the autumn. So we can I have to admit that I don't remember the proper name of the situation. It has it has a name, and I don't remember it, but you will definitely find it. And,
okay, thank you. And we have a comment from Brian. Yeah, that it's about that he usually or always does is that he starts with showing a picture as well to
yeah, satellite images are also a good example of photos to motivate students to inquiry. Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Yeah. So yeah, quite often, even depending upon what age I'm working with, like for instance, this Friday, I'm going to be working with students in the second grade, and it's always kind of a battle. Do I show them a picture of, a landscape photo of trees and, nature, or do I start off with the satellite picture and see what they think they see? But so what I usually do there is sometimes I start off with the satellite picture, and then I have successive pictures that zoom in a little further and then a little further, a little further, and just see if they see more things as we get to the ground. So that's just the great inquiry-based learning that I love to do, because it's, students nowadays are so highly visual at looking at the cool, what we call the gee whiz, imagery. So, and at NASA, we have so much of that everywhere. We have lots of imagery. A lot of it's very technical, but so you kind of have to break that down. But that's all part of the inquiry-based learning process.
Yeah, with connection with trees. For example, deforestation of rainforests. It's you can use satellite images for this topic. It's you can see it clearly.
Wow. Thank you, Brian, for the comment, for the additional ideas. And well, at the moment, I don't see any further questions. So last moment, if anyone would like to unmute and talk or share something in the chat. We will share the presentation with you. There were the links to the international projects that include inquiry-based learning. So just to tell you that after the webinar, we will share the recording as well as the presentation. So you will be able to see these links and explore those projects. Okay, and I really don't see any further questions. So thank you once more, Vendula. Thank you for being with us and talking about the experience with inquiry-based learning. And
thank you too.
Thank you. And so that's the time for the second part of our webinar today. And I welcome Anna Fischerova. She's also a colleague from Tereza Educational Center, and she's leading the project Lessons in Grass, and she will tell you more about the project, I believe.
I was muted. Hello, everybody. I hope you hear me now. My presentation will start from the end of the spectrum, the other side. I'm going to talk about the importance of finding the relationship with nature, and why is it important to have a closer bond with the tree that you're observing in your phenology campaign. My name is Anna. I'm from Tereza Educational Center as well. As Lenka already said, I work for a Lessons in Grass project that is based on the Czech outdoor learning program that has years of experiences in the Czech Republic, and that has been very successful in the Czech Republic. Is it moving, the presentation?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, maybe it's too early or something is wrong.
It's good now. Yes.
Anyways, I'll go. Okay, perfect. I'll go on. Lessons in Grass aim to support teachers to move part of the instruction outdoors and to spend more time outdoors with their children. We offer ready-made lesson plans for teachers. So all you need is just to grab a lesson plan or ebook with the focus of your learning goals, and everything is ready there. You can go and teach straight away. We're not just the sunshine and good weather people. We offer the inspiration for different types of weather, different climates. We have activities for rainy days, muddy days, for winter. So you're welcome to check our website for these. These are some of our resources that we offer. Again, you can find more on our website. But today I'll focus on these ebooks because they're devoted to trees, and specifically for the first one and maybe the second one a little bit. But these are the 3 stepping stones that we consider very important when you want to teach outdoors, that you have to move step by step, gradually, from really focusing on the sensitivity and on finding the relationship to nature at first, without really doing all the scientific work first. Then we, once children are well accommodated in nature, we lead them through the creative process to experience nature as an inspiring place that sparks creativity in them. Because when you are working with your hands, the connection with your brain is very open. And only after these two steps, we get to this inquiry-based learning methods and the scientific exploration of nature. Why sensitivity is so important? In our opinion, it is very underestimated. The principles are very simple and universal, and that's maybe the reason why they're forgotten very often, which is a pity, because it's finding the relationship with nature is crucial, because then the children can form some kind of a foundation for developing some other skills, and only then they can make these inquiry-based learning methods very effective. And the relationship to nature works as any other romantic relationship, and it's not done by head, or you don't use brain. Knowledge is not important in this respect. You need to fall in love with nature, basically. You need to set up the emotional bond. And for that, we need the positive experiences. The perception through senses, because that's the second principle. Because if we are setting any kind of relationship, it goes through the emotions. If you don't have the emotions there, knowledge won't really help you. So in this stage, we perceive and feel nature primarily through our senses and their combination. What is very interesting is to block the dominant sense, which is sight, and then you just open up your perception and you focus way better. I'll go through these principles really quickly in the first part of the presentation, because if you're aware of the principles, then you can be a better guide or leader of the children in nature, and you can help them to set up the relationship and the bond. In the second part of the presentation, we'll be focusing on some activities that are mirroring these principles. So don't worry, you'll have the practical part in a short while. Having a guide is very important thing for children, because you may get there, you can learn it by yourself, but it always takes longer. So if you have somebody to show you, and if that somebody is authentic and really loves nature, this psychological term, this imprinting works perfectly there. So you can just pass on the love for nature to the others, because nature is a great place, but not everybody can see it. And not everybody can appreciate it, but it's a muscle that can be trained. Try to make nature more attractive for children, because as I said, not everybody sees it there, but you can just focus their attention to these little adventures, the unique places, unique experiences, that you can show nature as a great place full of stories, full of different creatures, and so on. Knowledge is not enough, and if you are boosting the sensitivity, you shouldn't really combine it with this this hardcore science, the exploration and learning about nature. That's why in our activities we don't really focus on naming the natural phenomena and so on. You can just go outdoors with your children and let them be. And seemingly teachers can be horrified because like we need to learn them, we need to teach them something. They need to learn because we don't have time. That's true. But on the other hand, if you let the children just spend some time in nature, just to perceive it with all their senses, and just let them be there. You can give them magnifying glasses and all this equipment, but let them work their own way with it. And then you'll see that, don't worry, the questions will keep coming to you, and you can bounce the questions back and you can find the answers to their questions together then. But what I want to say that is the learning process will be more effective if they have the time for building up the sensitivity before. So try to resist, naming everything and teaching them. Just give them time for their own. This principle is very important, especially nowadays, because this current generation of children is probably the first generation who will spend more time indoors than outdoors, and they are not used to nature. Some children may be terrified just by the prospect of sitting in the grass because there may be some ticks or they may get bitten by something. So push their boundaries, but do it gently and slowly, because getting wet, cold, being hungry or lost in nature may be a great fun and challenge for some experienced adventurers. But you should definitely keep the newcomers like warm and dry, and they should have the positive experience with nature, because if you set up some negative experiences, it's very hard to fix it then. When you're outdoors, enjoy minor details, because even like the closest nature can be beautiful. We just don't really see it. For some children, it may be for like the first time when they just focus on some minor details. We could use the eyes of small children because they are really experts on that. We all have probably the experiences of dragging a child from a puddle or from a stone, just explaining, let it be, we have to go somewhere. And the child has this ability to just wonder and marvel about like ordinary things on the way, whereas we tend to use or see the nature around us as just a scenery for our walk, for example. So it's really beneficial just to change the perspective and see it with different eyes. Try to find some wild places. The wilder, the better, because this wilderness sparks, it opens imagination. And small children will definitely prefer, but you don't have to travel like to a jungle or some pristine forest. It depends on the scale. Small children feel, in the tall grasses in the jungle. And this last one, it will be like the greatest challenge, as we'll get to it in the activities. Basically, leave the kids outdoors in nature by themselves, alone, because only when you are out there without any disruptions, you shut up like all these outer and inner voices, and you have the time, you will calm down, and then you'll just going through and finding your relationship to nature. Yeah, and this is being there alone. So now I'd like to introduce you to some practical activities based on these principles that are encouraging children to just build up the sensitivity around and with trees. All the games are somewhere around and with trees. We put together the whole ebook with 12 activities focused on trees. Just a small example of what it looks like inside. We always have the goal of the lesson. Then you have the time frame, the ages that the lesson is suitable for. You have the place, even when, because some activities are better to do, for example, in autumn, and maybe what you need for the activity. And then you have like everything is step by step. Everything is described. You have the main body of the lesson with the evocation at the beginning. The most important part of the lesson is, of course, the reflection. And we also included the evaluation of the lesson for you as a teacher, so that you know that your children are that they are at the place where you wanted them to be. So you have the evidence of learning. We also include many pictures so that it's more clear. And here are some lessons that we'll quickly go through. The first lesson is called Hello Tree. It might be a good lesson plan for the time when you are choosing your tree to do the phenological observations. Then children are encouraged to walk around and focus on the trees. It may be a familiar place, but the focus is unfamiliar maybe for them. So they try to estimate how old the trees are, what they've experienced in their lives, how do they feel, and so on. So you can read the trees, then you can get together and you can reflect on the lesson. You can draw a map, for example, of your areas with your favorite trees. Tree islands are an activity for, it's very dynamic activity for more active kids, because building up sensitivity doesn't have to necessarily mean only this reflective, slow and peaceful activities, because some children need the action and motion in order to comprehend, in order to just set up their own relationships. So tree islands encourage children to notice the treetops, the tree crowns, and what are the sizes and shapes. Basically, it's a survivor game when you tell the children that they are like on a stormy sea, and they can only rescue themselves on an island, and that island is an area around a tree trunk as far as their crowns go. So at some trees, it's a very small island. The bigger trees have bigger islands, and you can just announce that there is the high tide, and the sea is full of sharks, and they have to run and save themselves on some kind of an island. And there are many variations of this game. They can save themselves on different types of islands. For example, it can be just the island of a deciduous trees, trees that have visible roots, or I don't know, like rough bark, large leaf, and these things. For more experienced groups, you can also tell them like the individual species. But again, this is an activity for the sensitivity. So this is not, it shouldn't be like a quiz, what is a linden tree and what's oak and etc. But with more experienced children, you can, of course, use it. And then you can make maps of your tree islands and of your sea with your children. Another activity, My Life as a Tree. This activity will encourage children just to change the perspective and imagine there is a story, and the evocation is that they are on a seed, and it's the wind chewed the seed somewhere on the soft ground, and then they're growing through the germination, and then they're seedling, and then they're trees, and they dramatize the whole process, and they pretend to be trees. Of course, tree reading workshops. We all do this at school, but just imagine how different is a reading workshop under the tree canopy. You have the fresh air there, the sight of greenery. It really boosts the well-being. You see all the sounds of birds, so it's a whole different experience. So it's definitely worth trying. Another activity is called My Neighbor the Tree, and this one is very popular among children. It's basically you make pairs and you examine the tree with all senses except the most important one, which is sight. So one person is blindfolded, or they have some time to walk around and just to choose their favorite tree in the area. You have to set up the area, of course, and then one person is blindfolded, and one person takes care of the blindfolded person. So it teaches as well the responsibility for the other, because the one who is the leader is really responsible for the safety of the blindfolded person, and you lead them to the tree, and then children will have to just touch the tree. They can smell it. They can somehow get to know the tree with their senses, and then they get back to the starting point. They remove the blindfold, and the task is to find their tree, and then they can switch their roles. Yeah, there's the role of the guide is important too. So it teaches not only sensitivity to the tree, but also sensitivity to the others within the group of children. Another very popular activity is eyes and ears amidst the trees. And in this activity, we are discovering the wide range of sounds, shapes, and colors that are around trees. Because children normally would say, trees, they don't make any sound. They are trees. They're just standing there doing nothing. But if you try it, you see that it's not true, but there are there's a wide range of sounds like around the tree. You hear all the insects and the wind in the leaves and so on, and then children will draw the map of sounds and colors that they experienced. So we're engaging the senses here. Another sense, and that is the fragrance of the tree. What does a tree smell like? Again, children would say, it doesn't smell like anything. But if they just go there and search for different kinds of smells, they'll be really amazed and surprised how many types of pleasant or even unpleasant smells they can find around trees. This activity, they can create these little origami paper cups, and they are putting little pieces of some natural materials in order to create their own tree perfume. And you can also discuss different trees or shrubs that use their smell on purpose. For example, the elderberry trees, they used to be planted in front of houses or stables in order to drive away insects. Or you can discuss even the perfume that some shrubs or trees are used actually for making real perfumes. Picnic. It's great to experience nature as a place to relax and enjoy food together. You know, try to make it a ritual. You know, it's like the feast, and you should also include something local from nature. Again, for many children, it may be very surprising that they can eat something from the grass, and that it's actually very tasty. Yeah, this ritual of shared food. You can also give them, you know, a mug, a spice jar, or a plate, and tell them to figure out like what is used out of trees for these purposes. They can come up with, for example, linden trees as a delicious tea. They can talk about cinnamon, for example, or you know, they can put on their plates some berries and nuts and other fruit of trees. Tree hug is very popular activity. We use this special tree huggers method to estimate whether the trees in our areas are similarly aged, the same as, you know, like children in a classroom are, or if there are trees of different ages. And again, it's not really the aim of the activity is not like the exact age of the trees, but just to you know, have the experience and to focus on the forest as such and focus on the variety in the forest. So we have this simple worksheet for this activity. You know, you have these funny names of the trees. It depends on how thick they are, and children can just walk around there hugging the trees, and they're figuring out if the trees are the same aged or not. And then it can lead you again, like, to talk about the ecology of the forest and so on. Yeah, this activity is for autumn. It doesn't really fit spring, but it's great to let children frolic in leaves. It's again for the more active children who won't be sitting for a long time and who are just like still need to release the energy, you know, after long sitting in the classroom, for example, and just to steam off, and then they'll be ready for more calm and peaceful activities. You know, so if you have, if they've done enough frolicking in the leaves, you can talk about the importance of fallen leaves for small animals, for the soil, you know, who hides in the leaves in autumn, and so on. Stories from the branches. You know, make stories from a different perspective. Imagine that you are a mouse, a bird, a lichen, a leaf, rain, wind, whatever, and try to write a story about trees from different perspective. Children usually like it very much because and they just open their imagination. It runs wild and come up with great stories. And they're training also the empathy. And now we're coming to this the most difficult part, and that's silence. Silence under a tree. This is definitely not an activity you should start with. I would highly recommend just to go step by step, not necessarily in the order I was mentioning them, but put this activity somewhere toward the end, because nature means something different for each of us, and the relationship with nature is very intimate. And only if you leave the children in nature completely alone, they can just start developing it and realizing it. And of course, children, they should feel safe, warm, and comfortable. So if they are scared or cold, it won't work. So with little children, just keep them inside. It's enough to let them sit on a tree stump nearby. But all the children are really capable of just going somewhere into the forest and spend an hour there. And again, it's up to them what they'll do there. Some children will just take magnifying glasses and will be exploring everything around. Some children will draw or write. Some children will just watch the treetops and so on. So these were really quickly the activities in the first ebook. We have the second volume of the trees, and that is focused on the creativity. So once you build up the sensitivity toward your surroundings, you're ready to use your hands and to use the natural materials that are very uneven and that really opens up the imagination. And these two steps make the solid basis for all these wonderful inquiry-based methods, as Lenka Wendy was talking about before me. But they are way more effective if you go through these steps. This is the second ebook. There are also 12 lessons. There will be really short introduction of what we do outdoors, what's available. You probably know this activity is very popular. You can do it any time of the year, but autumn is the most sexy part for it, because you have the colorful leaves. You can create tree puppets, all kinds of tree puppets, elderberry, I'm mentioning elderberry again, but elderberry tree is a very great resource for that, because it has the soft core inside the branches and inside the twigs. And the soft core can be removed by a wire or nail, and you can just string the bits and pieces on a string and make puppets like that. Art classes. When you take your art classes outdoors, you don't have to use papers. You can just walk around, find different types of soil and clay, and all you need to do is just to mix different samples with water. And for example, tree trunks may be great canvases for your art pieces. You can create different types of tree faces on the tree trunks, and then you can make interviews with your trees, for example. You can use technologies as well. Just imagine, what if a tree was a YouTuber? What would it say? Another face on the tree. You can play that you are designers, and you can walk around and try and look for different patterns in nature. Of of course, tree models of all kinds. It's very popular. Creating dream catchers, and you can weave in, some experiences that you've had during the day. Large tree is a very good material for the dream catchers because it has these little bumps and the strings won't get loose. But of course, you can do it with willow wicker as well. Tree amulet. This activity is very free. Again, I wouldn't recommend putting it on the first activity because once children have some kind of a guidelines what to do and how to do, what are the materials suitable for their creations, you can just let them create on their own. Just make the tree amulet. It can be whatever. And some children will really enjoy the freedom in their creative process, but some children will need to have at least a little guidelines because they may be a little lost. So this could be a tree amulet as well. Tree dance, yeah, it never gets old. Children love to build all kinds of dance, and maybe like a big scale, as a construction challenge, or a small one for these little worlds, especially children who are more intuitive and they like to go into these imaginary worlds, so they can make their own little characters out of natural materials. For more adventurous types, we have this jungle journey. All you need is a rope and a toilet paper roll, or a carabiner, or a ring that you put on the rope, and you can prepare your children journey through some jungle. And if you have smaller children, it can be some kind of a nice environment, safe. But especially older children will really enjoy some kind of a wild terrain, and so don't be afraid of that. And you can make the same activity again in the small scale, the small worlds. Make your own little bus or space shuttle or car or whatever that is, and take your characters on a journey. And of course, tree impressions. In this activity, we tried to teach about how to capture the moment, and it's based on the impressionist art movement. But it can look like even like this. So ordinary cardboard frame, and you're capturing the moment like that. So, okay, that was it. These are the 3 steps, as I was mentioning. We really believe that nature is just the best playground, classroom, gym, or even pharmacy, because it really boosts our well-being. So go outdoors as much as you can. This is some inspiration for teachers, some teachers' resource books that we offer. And you can follow us on YouTube. We have some short video tutorials as well. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram if you want. And that's all from me. Thank you very much. Maybe if you have some questions, I'm here for a couple more minutes.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you. It was amazing inspiration, so many ideas and yeah, tips.
I hope I didn't overwhelm you.
There are already some first nice comments in the chat, but please feel free to give us not only comments, but also questions if you have any to Anna. You can also let us know if you are planning or if you are thinking to use some of these ideas in your teaching. That's also interesting. And maybe meanwhile, I will mention that Anna had there a lot of pictures and ideas for working with autumn leaves as well. So we will continue the campaign in the autumn. So that's definitely something that you will have opportunity to use as well. So yeah, any questions? Seems not. So I believe hey, you need time to think about because yeah, it was a lot of different ideas, 2 different topics. It's a lot of information. So I hope all or both presentations were useful for you, that it brought you some inspiration on how to motivate your students to go out, spend time outdoors, to observe the tree that you have chosen for the spring campaign, and just to some ideas how to make kids to like their tree even more than they do now already by visiting it with you. What will come next in the campaign? We will of course keep you informed. You will receive a newsletter from us, and please just keep observing your trees, keep visiting your trees, watch how the tree is greening up, measure the tree land as you are doing now. That's a wonderful opportunity for trying some of the activities we talk about now. There's a lot more to do as well. You will find everything on the campaign website, so you can measure the tree height, see how the tree cools its surrounding, how it creates a pleasant microclimate in the cities. You can learn about the role of trees in the carbon cycle. So all this is available in the campaign, and of course it's not necessary that you do all of this. You just can choose any of the activities that you find useful and suitable for your teaching. So that's what's coming next. I'm talking a lot, but there's still the space for questions. So if you have anything that came to your mind during my speaking, please just unmute and talk to us. Yeah, in the chat I see greetings from Croatia and
Math teacher, great. We had webinar on mathematics yesterday.
Wonderful, yeah. So even in mathematics, the outdoor learning can be used.
Yeah, the outdoor math. It's great. It's universal. You can use it anywhere in the world because everybody needs to learn to count pretty much in the same way. But anyways, there is my email address in the presentation. So you can always reach out if you wish.
Thank you. And for those who join later, you may not hear it, but we will share the recording and both presentations. So you will get the contact to Anna and you will be able to see all that was said today, to go through it one more to remind or find the details. And I know we are taking longer than 1 hour, so I think it's time to go home or go outdoors and see the trees in 3D, not just on the pictures. One last thing that I would like to share with you is that we will have one more webinar in the Phenology campaign, and this will happen on June 4th. And this last webinar called Our Spring with Trees will be an opportunity for you, or basically for your students, to talk about their experience within the campaign. So you are very welcome. You will receive invitation from us via newsletter and the discussion forum. And we will be happy if you join the webinar and if your students will be there and talk about their experience in the spring observing the trees. And with that said, I would like to thank once again to Anna for sharing her experience. And
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
yeah, thank you for joining us. And also thanks to all of you for joining and for being with us and for all your activities that you do in the campaign.